we're reviewing another tech archetype, which is known as the Goyo archetype, which is used by Ushio from 5Ds, where their first monster originates from. And the rest of them were made during the Arc 5 era, so yeah, during Arc 5 they became a proper archetype. To an extent, this is still a tech archetype because they still uh, they still consist of extra deck monsters only. So yeah, it's not going to be a traditional deck building when involving these guys, because you fill up your deck extra deck with these and put in the main deck whatever you want in order to make the best use out of these things. So yeah, let's start off with our first monster, that being the level 3 Goyo Defender. He's got 1000 attack and defense, requires any tuner and any more non-tuner monsters, and once per turn, if all monsters you control are Earth Warrior type Synchro monsters, minimum 1, you can special summon one Goyo Defender from your extra deck. When this card is targeted for an attack, you can make this card gain 1000 attack for each Earth Warrior type Synchro monster you control other than this card, until the end of the damage step. So yeah, this used to be kind of fun and decent to pull off, but nowadays during the Link era it's obnoxiously harder because, well, you need extra monster zones or any main monster zones unlocked first in order to, you know, summon more copies of this guy. So the Goyo Defender is not a very good choice to run nowadays. You know, in order to make the best use out of these, you usually needed to run 3 of these at all time. But yeah, nowadays it's not very worth it. So yeah, Goyo Defender is usually the one you skip over nowadays. Their next monster is the level 5 Goyo Chaser, also a generic one, 1900 attack and 1000 defense. And this card gains 300 attack for each Earth Warrior type Synchro monster on the field other than this card. When this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, you can special summon that monster to your side of the field, but its attack becomes halved. Okay, I'm just gonna say right now that you absolutely don't want to run this, because an archetype has a monster which does the same thing but leagues better, and was even on the ban list because of it. So yeah, Goyo Chaser ain't gonna be doing chasing no more. Their next monster is their first level 6 Goyo Predator, also a generic one. When this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, you can special summon that monster to your side of the field, but any battle damage it inflicts to a player is halved. You can only use this effect of Goyo Predator once per turn. Again, better than a Chaser, but still entirely outclassed by their next monster, their absolute poster boy and first monster, Goyo Guardian. It's a level 6, again, with 2800 attack and 2000 defense. It requires an Earth Tuner and any or more non-tuner monsters, and when this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, you can special summon that monster to your field in defense position. And yes, this card used to be a genuine threat during the early Synchro era, because first of all, it got an errata, which made him require an Earth Tuner. He used to be generic as well. So yeah, this was a very genuine threat, since he can basically snatch any powerful boss monster. He didn't negate effects, he didn't cut any damage in half, he didn't cut any attack points in half, he just stole a monster no matter how powerful it might have been. Although this effect doesn't work on those monsters that cannot be normal summoned or set, or must be special summoned by a certain condition. Or yeah, in today's format it doesn't work on Link monsters, since Link monsters cannot go into defense position. So yeah, Goyo Guardian is still a very powerful card today in decks that can afford to make him. So you should usually kind of max out on this one, because it's a really fantastic card. What else do I have to say about this guy? And their last monster is the level 8 Goyo King. It's a level 8 with the same stats as Goyo Guardian, requires a tuner and any or more non-tuner synchro monsters, And when this card declares an attack on an opponent's monster, this card gains a 400 attack for each Earth Warrior type Synchro monsters you control until the end of the damage step. When this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, you can activate one of these effects. Special summon that monster to your side of the field. Take control of one face-up monster your opponent controls. So yeah, this is actually a straight upgrade over Goyo Guardian, since you can either take control of a face-up monster that is already on the field, or or revive a monster this card destroyed, and it doesn't need to be in defense position, which is something Goyo Guardian has a flaw nowadays because of link monsters. Battle boosting effect is, I would have loved this if this thing had the battle boost effect present all the time, not just when it attacked. So yeah, that's kind of a hiccup there. You usually use a level 2 tuner monster on Goyo Guardian in order to summon this thing. So yeah, this is also a very nice card, so consider running 2 or 3 of these. And their last monster is the level 10 fusion monster Goyo Emperor. It's, yeah, level 10 with 3300 attack and 2500 defense. Requires 2 Earth Warrior type Synchro monsters in order to be summoned. And when this card or a monster you control that is owned by your opponent destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, you can special that monster to your side of the field. When your opponent special summons a monster, except during the damage step, you contribute 1 Earth Warrior type Synchro monster and take control of that monster. If this face-up card leaves the field, return control of all monsters you control to its owner. Okay, so this is actually, for a fusion monster, pretty damn alright effect. For a fusion monster based on extra deck synchro monsters. You have the opportunity to take control of an opponent's monster instantly upon it being summoned. However, you need to tribute an Earth Warrior type Synchro monster, which is, a Goyo monster, in order to, take control of it, which might require a bit to set up, so that is a bit of annoying. But the beautiful thing about this card is that the effect of getting the opponent's monster, special summoning the opponent's monster after it is being destroyed, again in any position, just like Goyo King, is triggered if the monster that you snatched from the opponent also destroys an opponent's monster, which is actually a huge plus in my book. It can be a bit bricky because the second effect is a bit too inconsistent to pull off, but still, running a copy of 2 of these is never a good, it's never a bad idea. So yeah. Okay, now grades actually everything gets a 1 out of 3, and versatility gets a 2 out of 3 because Goyo monsters can be fairly splashable in any deck that can make them, mostly X-Sabers. So yeah, it's probably gonna be X-Sabers that see the most fun out of these guys, since they're synchro spam archetype. They have lots of Earth monsters, and most of their Earth monsters are also synchro Earth monsters. So yeah, splash these into X-Sabers and have a field day with these things. Is there going to be new support for Goyos? I don't know, because the last support card was made before the Xyz the Xyz arc started in Arc 5, which was Season 3? I don't know. It was either the first half of Season 4 or the second half of Season 3, I'm not quite sure. It's been a while since I saw Arc 5. But anyway, we are done with today's Archetype analysis. Thank you all so much for watching. Stay tuned for more videos and updates. Comment, like, and subscribe, and as usual, I'll upload the next vid whenever I can. See you all, have a good day, and peace.